Hello guys and welcome to the ProDota Cup series by Hitbox TV. We are here watching the second best of 2 of the day between Nasty Potatoes and the Prime NND. Let's see who can take this best of 2. This is the first match of the best of 2. And the first match of the Nasty Potatoes will be playing in this tournament because their other match got delayed and changed to a different date. So let's see how these guys do. Nasty Potatoes used to be were pretty good in the first... in the last season, they did pretty well for themselves. The Prime NND have been proving to be a decent Indonesian team. They actually beat the other top Indonesian team, that being Rex Regum Kaon, so the Indonesians are back on the rise. Let's see if Nasty Potatoes can offer them a bit more of a challenge. Apologies for the late drafting stage. I would have done something, but I was trying to eat. And well, when you cook for yourself, you live alone and everything. It's kind of hard to cast and cook at the same time. So we'll be initiating a bit late on the draft, but you can still see what we have today. My name is DSwordfish. I'll be your caster for today. Let's get right into it, shall we? We have Nasty Potatoes and Train Protector, Shadow Shaman, Lifestealer, Puck, and Prime NND pick up the Juggernaut, the Omnite, the Rubik, and the Slardar. Interesting combination of Rubik and Juggernaut. Slardar and Juggernaut. I haven't seen that in a while. The Slardar nowadays only gets picked the Lifestealer almost exclusively, and he's just not that... I mean, he's pretty still top pick, but he's not that useful anymore for most teams. However, the Prime NND seem to value him quite a lot. With the Omnite, it works well because you can actually run a dual off lane, and Omnite Slardar is a lethal dual off lane between the Sprint and the Degen Aura. You can't outrun any of these assholes. It is really hard to fight against them, so it actually works out pretty nicely if you're Prime NND. They have strong lanes. Rubik and Juggernauts are strong dual lanes. You can deal with most everything in the off lane. Only issue is the Nasty Potatoes themselves also went for very strong lanes. The Puck, if he plays aggressively in the mid lane, can win most every matchup, and the Lifestealer, Shadow Shaman, Train Protector is a lethal lane. You have one stun that pierces BKB, which in the case of Omni Knight is actually pretty relevant, in the case of Juggernaut as well. You have 2 stuns that don't pierce BKB, but they're still very long, with the Hex and the Shackles. One of the longest stuns in the game, if not the longest, with the Shackles. And then Open Wounds, which can be used at the end once you've used a magical immunity to just completely crush you. In addition to having a bit more sustain in lane if you are the Lifestealer, and a ridiculous amount of physical damage. So the Prime NND is not going to have an easy time against his trial lane. They might be able to put a bit more pressure against their off laner, which is why they banned the Axe. Someone that can utilize the jungle pretty well. I think that's the idea. No, you want to ban people that can utilize the jungle very well because you're going to push them out of the line anyway. What I can see for Nasty Potatoes now, though, would be a Timbersaw. You have 3 melee heroes in the enemy team, and 2 of them are strength, and one of them is agility. So the attribute loss is actually quite relevant. 15% taking away armor from Juggernaut, taking away both damage and HP from Omniate and Slardar, but instead they're going to pick up an Abaddon. Abaddon's a bit more secure, it's a bit safer than the Timbersaw pick. It's not as irrelevant in the late game. You have a lot more power. You can actually counter the Omnite pretty well. You can dispel the amplified damage as well, which is a pretty big deal. And you can even run a dual off lane with Abaddon Train Protector, which might not be able to rival... Actually, it might even be able to rival the Juggernaut Rubik lane. Not able to beat the Juggernaut Rubik lane. It's a pretty strong laning combination here. So, let's see. Let's see what the Prime NND are going to pick up. They have an off-lane Omni Knight, carry Juggernaut, support Rubik, support Slardar. Now we have a mid laner for the Prime NND. What do you pick up for them against a Puck? I mean, you can go for the safe thing and go for the Sniper. Sniper Slardar is an old combo, works pretty nicely. The Sniper works well with an Omni Knight. They have no way of really reaching the Sniper. No gap closers in the Nasty Potatoes team, because Lifestealer doesn't really count. At best, you have a Lifestealer Puck combo, so Sniper would not be bad. If you want to go tradition, OD is just a nice little pick. Shadow Fiend OD probably would be the traditionals against the Puck and the Shadow Fiend's ban, so just go for the plain OD if the Prime NND aren't too confident. If you want to go a bit out of meta, like I said, the nice thing would be a Sniper, for example, because Puck would really dominate his lane.
Tinker. And
they're going to go for the Tinker instead. Okay. It's a bit out of meta regardless, a bit weaker against the Lifestealer, honestly, but they have no way of actually finding him in the trees, bar the Train Protector. They have no vision, and Puck might be forced to go for Shivas. Yeah, I can see it. The Repel is good with him as well, so we can actually play in the team fight a bit more aggressively. Only issue would be that he's actually dealing against an Abaddon, which can dispel the laser, so that can be a huge issue if you are the guys from... Nasty, if you're the guys from Prime NND, because you're going to rely a lot on the laser to give the Tinker some survivability in the early game. Let's see what build he goes for as well. like it's all relevant. It's not only it's the fact that you have the builds, it's the fact that you have the different builds for Tinkers, the fact that you also have the repel for the Tinker. It's actually a very interesting drafts for both of them. I like the Tinker and the Puck picks, going for more of the team fight oriented magical damage in mids, which besides the Ember, they're not really picked as often as say someone like OD, the one of the mids Invoker, I guess. In this meta it's a bit different, but you get the idea that these mids are not the most common. Life Stealer is actually not that common, especially fighting against a Slardar. And the Tinker doesn't really take advantage of the Slardar that much. He can only take advantage for the heat-seeking missiles, but the Abaddon has the Aphotic Shield to dispel them amplify damage. There's so many little small synergies that are gonna, or there's many small synergies that are gonna happen in this game. We'll see. We'll see. The Tinker's amount of magical damage is not gonna do much against the Life Stealer, though. That's what concerns me here. You have the Armor Slash, which really counters the Life Stealer, but this could be a problem later on in the game. Because the Armor Slash really counters the Life Stealer early on, but maybe... I mean, the Jungler in general is better than the Life Stealer because of his reduced BAT, his better stat... he has a worse stat gain, sorry, but has a better BAT and can go for more expensive items and utilize them a bit better. His integrated crit also helps him out a lot. The Feast is very useful in the early game, it's useful in general, but doesn't give you the burst damage that the crit would give you later on in the game, so that Blade Dance is very useful in the Juggernaut. We'll see. I think the Tinker's more out there to counter the Puck and kind of crush him in lane, but the Puck plays really aggressively, especially Ponlo's Puck, which are the best Pucks in the world. He's actually a really good Puck. He's one of his best heroes. So maybe I exaggerated with one of the best Pucks in the world, considering Dendi, Fata, and people like that exist. But he's a really good Puck. Thug's Puck is also fantastic. But Polo's a really good Puck, and he likes playing aggressively early on, so he should be able to bully the Tinker out of lane a bit in the early game. You see how little damage the Shadow Shaman does to the Slardar despite his high base attack damage at 68? That's simply because the Slardar has so much armor. It's one of the better heroes to fight against the Shadow Shaman. Alright, let's present the teams real quick before they start hitting each other. My name is DSwordfish. I'll be your caster for today. And let's see what teams are fighting it out today. We have the Prime NND and Nasty Potatoes. The Prime NND here, Omnet, played by NFR in the solo. So yeah, solo. So it's going to be a aggressive trident. Okay. Offlane, I guess offlane solo position. In the mid lane, a Tinker played by Ruzman. And in the two supports this game, we'll get a Boo Boo playing the Rubik, and the Slardar played by R7. Finally, the Juggernaut joining him as the carry in this aggressive tri-lane played by Panda. As for Nasty Potatoes in the Dire side, we have Death Sama playing the Abaddon in the offlane position. The first support being Crimson on the Shadow Shaman, second support being the Trim Protector played by Eden. TMT on the Life Stealer as the carry, and then finally in the offlane position, in the mid position, we have Polo as the Puck. Right, so I'm interested to see this lane in the beginning. I think this is the most interesting matchup, the Puck versus... Because the tri-lane versus tri-lane is not actually that interesting. They can get a lot of kills in the early game, but it's much more important to see how this Puck is going to play and how aggressively he's going to play early on. Look at that, yeah, you can't even deny that crit. But you see the Tinker's playing a bit more defensively. You usually use a laser to prevent last hits, not to prevent denies. Because you think you can outlast at the opponent, but they can't. Oh no, they see R7. This is a very bad place to be with the Trim Protector around. Seriously, now the open wounds here as well to prevent the sprint from happening. That's later in crush, but it won't help him too much. And the telekinesis actually does help him considerably, stopping TMT before he can get the kill. But Crimson with the shackles catching up Panda in the end. Boo Boo will just finish him off with the auto attacks, and the tankiness of this aggressive tri-lane is being very apparent. The Shadow Shaman can't really harass 3. Shadow Shaman is great in dual lanes, but it kind of has a difficult time against tri-lanes, especially when your shackles don't come with a burst damage hero. And the Trim Protector is being found out. Great combo of stuns here. Eden dealt a lot of damage in low armor hero, so the physical damage they deal onto him is quite considerable. And he still hasn't discovered where the sentry is. I mean, they found him here, which is just on the edge of the trees. So the sentry can be anywhere in this area, anywhere in this area. You don't entirely know. I mean, you know the sentry is not, like, here, I suppose. You know the sentry is in this area. It can't be too far to the right, right? Oh, too far to the right, yeah. The drawing is not on point today. And let's look at the mid lane. You see Puck actually not able to play too aggressively early on, not harassing too much with the illusory orb, but the auto attacks, and it is the Tinker who's winning the lane for now. Even going for extra levels of illusory orb instead of maxing out the waning rift. Not because one is more common than the other, but because against a Tinker you might want to max out the waning rift to really annoy the Tinker and ensure that it doesn't have the rearm. I love this logo, by the way. Nasty Potatoes, and even have like a 2D logo. It's very well done. Like they're very committed to that name. I hope they make it to TI and we see that logo in TI. Nasty Potatoes fight. Nasty Potatoes versus don't know, Team Faceless, something like that. I mean, they wouldn't make it to TI, maybe the major. Yeah, TI is a bit too much. And I mean, this bottom lane is not going too bad for the Omnight, but it's not going bad for the Abaddon either. It's quite equal for both of them. That Legion Aura is annoying, but so is the Aphotic Shield, and more important, the Curse of Avernus. They both have a Poison Orb as well to harass each other. They're in very equal circumstances. Honestly, the Omnight and the Abaddon are playing in very similar roles anyway. So to begin with, fighting a 1v1 in the lane is just essentially the same thing. It's like seeing the same hero against each other. They both play with the Midas Radiance variation or the Midas Guardian Greaves. And oh, in the mid lane, they actually get a kill with against Ponlo with the help of the Slaughter. Gets a Slithering Crush out, and Ponlo did not evade it with a Phase Shift. Okay. I believe that was a Slithering Crush. No, I mean, he just helped with the sprint. I do believe it was. Yeah, he used a Slithering Crush. He tried to use the Phase Shift. I can only imagine, like, did not work out because they killed him. So. Oh, wow, this Omnight is quite high level because he gets the denied with a question mark, you see. That's the next level of meaning. Careful, Death Sama. Actually being dealt a lot of damage. Your Aphotic Shield is nice, but not as Purification. The Purification is actually... Oh no, they even serve the same purpose. Wow. Purification takes out the Aphotic Shield, and now they have a lot of body block, plus the Poison Orb, plus the Legion Aura. Death Sama is as good as dead. Has one last Aphotic Shield, one last second! And he gets it off, but the Slithering Crush will stop him in place. They'll force the Slaughter to use a bit more mana, and in the end, the Abaddon will die. They actually fulfill such a similar role now that I think about it, because besides the repel, you have the offlane Omnight and offlane Abaddon, right? Legion Aura versus Curse of Avernus, similar idea, except that Curse gives you more of a buff to you, in addition to a debuff to the enemy hero, whereas the Legion Aura is more of a debuff. But I think that the movement speed ends up being more or less the same, and once you get a couple levels of Legion Aura, yeah, once you get 3 levels of Legion Aura, it's pretty much the same difference. But the Aphotic Shield in this case, so the slow is a bit better for the Abaddon until you get a lot of levels on the Omnight. But in the case of the Purification, it's a lot better for the Omnight. It's pure damage. And oh, Booby goes down on top. It's pure damage, and obviously you have the fact that it heals you as opposed to preventing damage, so you can't actually stop it from triggering. However, the Aphotic Shield is much easier to land. So yeah, these small nuances, but in general, very similar here. It's a really interesting matchup to watch. Panda has been forced a bit more out of lane, opting for a very playing a bit defensively now, as the Slardar decides to go gank the bottom lane, preventing the level 6 on the Abaddon. It is really useful because they're utilizing the Slardar better than the Trim Protectors being utilized. And Death Sama being harassed heavily here. Has one last Aphotic Shield, but they have a second Slithering Crush. They don't actually have it, but do they need it? The Legion Aura will stop it for enough time. The Abaddon goes down. And Abaddon suffers a lot against the Legion Aura because you're so used to being able to dispel the slows and the stuns on the enemy team. Well, the slows mainly. And then they can't kill you because you have the Aphotic Shield, right, to dispel those. However, when you do the... When they have a Legion Aura, which is a constant slow put upon you, you can't really dispel that, and you lose a lot of your, I guess, carry and aggressive potential you have in the bottom lane. Look at that, Purification is completely counter the Aphotic Shield. It destroys it, it pops it, it heals you for pretty much the same amount, and it deals damage, extra damage, right? 230 damage, it deals 60 extra damage, it's just a slight bonus. With a higher cooldown, I think, Purification. Yep, it's slightly higher cooldown, actually, only 1 second higher. It's such an even lane. I love it. It's all down to the skill of the players. But this game, honestly, it's been down to the Slaughter support helping out much more. The Trim Protector hasn't done much. In fact, it should be the Shadow Shaman that's actually TPing around. Oh, they barely see the sword. Thank God. Good use of the Courier, by the way, to get vision up there, because the Shadow Shaman has no vision whatsoever. Or no way to acquire vision, neither does the Trim Protector. But what I do dislike is the lack of ganks by the Shadow Shaman. It seems like the Slaughter has been much more active in the map. 4-1 in the lane, or the net worth is going slightly in favor of the Prime NND. The Tinker should be winning his lane anyway. The bottom lane is very even, so being able to give Omnight a bit more advantage is nice. In terms of net worth, you see that the Abaddon is considerably less, well, considerably below the Omnight. Just now, right? Obviously, because it's early again. Boo Boo being hexed and leech seeded. Now the Shackles as well. They want to commit to this kill. And that's going to be a kill on the Lifestealer. That's the other usage of the Shadow Shaman. If you can't really gank, because in this game it's not the best idea to gank, then instead you just go full for Shackles, try to get kills in lane, and you're pretty much set. So it works out for them as well. On his mid lane, Rush Usman, careful, fighting against the puck. He's been dream called though, so that's going to be an easy kill onto him. The Slithering Crush though, from the Slardar saves the Tinker's life, who's been salved by Boo Boo, and this ambulance just comes in the time of emergency, time of need, and they not only get to save Tinker, but also get a kill onto Polo. Another kill, that's the second kill of the game. Because of this Slardar, this Rubik's rotations, honestly, the rotations from the Prime NND have been superior to the rotations from Nasty Potatoes. That Trim Protector is showing why he's such a, not a weak pick per se, but like a pick that reveals a lot about your strategy because of the fact that he is a Trim Protector, he wants to stay in lane, wants to go near the trees. The only saving grace that Nasty Potatoes has is the fact that the Lifestealer is actually winning his lane considerably against the Juggernaut because they're sacrificing a lot of his farm by rotating down to these lanes. So you get 2 lanes for the price of 1. It's kind of worth it because Juggernaut can recover in terms of farm because of his Blade Fury. It's also kind of worth it because you can kill the Abaddon before he gets borrowed time. He still has borrowed time, by the way. He doesn't want to let anyone proc it yet. Iron's R7. Not done just yet. Uses it, just grabs it. That's not a good usage of the borrowed time because that Knight is lost it completely. However, they can actually follow him with a Dream Coil. They can get a kill on the Slaughter. Slithering Crush, though, actually does a lot of damage. Telekinesis to bring the Abaddon back. They know he does not have the borrowed time, but he also had haste. So he's going to be fine in the end. And meanwhile, in the top lane, NFR is still positioned with the Juggernaut, and he's harassing the Lifestealer ever so slightly with the Purifications. Heal himself back up. That's Arcane Boots. It's a disgusting combo of Arcane Boots plus Purification. Unable to really fight against that. Yeah, it seems like it's not going too well for either team. It seems like there's no early game domination like we saw other games. We saw the last 2 games of the series. No great comebacks or anything of the sort. This game, because for the most part both teams are playing very intelligently. They're not making too many mistakes, and the only trades that are happening are basically based on the strategy of the teams. And so if anything, it's a mistake based on their strategy, which I am not capable of judging. Because on one hand, you have one team which is sacrificing the farm of the Juggernaut, or sacrifice the farm of the Juggernaut to opt for more farm on their Omni Knight and less farm of the Abaddon. You know, get the advantage in the off-lane matchup and in the mid-lane matchup because you are winning anyway because you have a Tinker versus a Puck. Meanwhile, the other team decided to just go for Protect 1 fully and help the Lifestealer a lot. And the Lifestealer allowed himself to get a Midas early, which is going to be a huge impact. That's the Blade Fury, but he already ate the whole Aphotic Shield damage. Panda's being slowed considerably. Really good telekinesis there to stop the Abaddon from dealing damage. And they go the Heat-Seeking Missiles. Abaddon already lost a borrowed time. The Slithering Crush fails. Why did he attack before the Slithering Crush? Who knows? Abaddon will get out of here alive, and the Juggernaut got healed by the Omni in the end. But he also has the... What, it's level 330? I think it's level 330 Companion. Or you get a question mark instead of the Valve with the memes. Right, let's see. Eden is okay, not being seen. They have a sentry here, so he's actually quite safe in this lane. I'm gonna help out the Abaddon a bit. The Abaddon's about to die. Aphotic Shield to help him out. Even the Nature's Armor, or Living Armor, sorry. However, the Armor is committed, and they're gonna get the kill. Meanwhile, on the top lane, they go on to Rusmine. They actually could catch him, but they have no shackles just yet. TMT suffered a lot of damage with the March of the Machines. So the Crimson, he's very close to a shrine. They're blocking his entrance into the shrine, which is very smart, ensuring that the Tinker cannot like just go and heal. And with this Rusmine just decided to go back, he'll rearm, and he'll be fine. He doesn't need to use the shrines as often because, well, it's a Tinker, right? Rearms everything, bottles up. Now bottom lane, we see a TP from Densama, comes in onto NFR. This might be a very dangerous TP. However, he has a borrowed time, so he should attack whenever he wants to. The Tinker has joined in as well. And Densama decides to not waste his borrowed time here. He could have just gone ham and tried to get like a huge 4 quad kill or whatever, because it does deal a lot of damage. But of course, you need the TP from the Puck, and even so, you're playing a bit dangerously. Now, Densama finally is forced to use his borrowed time because they just harassed him into it. But NFR has been off a bit more than he could shoot. Now Panda's starting to spin. Actually, never mind. Dream Coil comes into 3, but Dream Coil barely does anything onto Panda. And, ooh, that Blade Fury expires before he can get out of the way from the Dream Coil. And they get the Shackles onto R7. But the Purification not only kills the Shadow Shaman, but also the Abaddon. And R7 will survive. That Omni Knight way too strong. Now the Guardian Angel, they're ready to prepare against anything but magical damage. And Paula has precisely that with the Waning Rift finishing off the Omni Knight. But Rusman joins in. And with the Heat-Seeking Missiles, are going to deal a considerable amount of damage. Puck can't evade bait them. Eden, they know where he is. The Slithering Crush is available. No, it's 1 more second. They just want to auto-attack him at this point. Illusory Orb is coming in. They want to go into Boo-Boo. The Waning Rip, but the March of the Machine is forcing Polo back. The Slithering Crush will catch him. They know where he is, but the Amplified damage just expired. He needs to use the Magic Stick to get another stack of Amplified damage onto him. No, the Illusory Orb will finish him off, and in the end, that was a very weird engagement where the Prime NND overextend and get punished for it. In the end, losing 3 to Nasty Potatoes 2, I want to say. No, 3. Oh, no, they lost. Oh, sorry, they lost 2 Nasty Potatoes 3. That was the very chaotic team fight. I forgot how great that Purification was early on. The Purification got pretty much 2 kills, so that was still worth it. They lost Omni Knight and the Slardar. Yeah, it's fine. Honestly, they could have done a bit more had the Omni Knight survived, but he didn't have mana for Repel, and honestly, there were some serious mana problems there. And obviously, the Juggernaut and the Tinker backing out a bit too soon. Once the Juggernaut didn't, or once the Tinker didn't have mana, he just backed out immediately. And he could have just kept auto-attacking, utilizing the Amplified damage. Oh, they see that Sun has to dispel that with the Aphotic Shield. Yeah, there it is. He's fine. It's hard to catch out an Abaddon with Amplified damage. Oh, Eden knows there's an Omnite here. What is he doing? The Amplified damage hits him anyway, and he's dead. Why was he... He just tried walking against the trees, even though he should have walked here. And why, you may ask? You have a ward. No, stop. This is the camera. You have a ward here. So if you just... He walked from here and all the way to the trees, right? Because in your own vision, this seems like the easiest tree to get to. However, these 2 paths, if you're from here, these 2 paths actually measure the same. Let's put 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters, right? So... I hate being erased. So going up to these trees where you had vision was a bit better. Your escape mechanism can just be, you know, going around the trees and then eventually reaching here. And then you get a bit of extra movement speed. You move on to these trees over here, and then boom, a bit of extra movement speed, and you move on to the tower. So that was not the best positioning by the Tim Protector. Small plays though, small plays. It's not the best. It doesn't really matter, right? Obviously, in the long run, the Tree Protector might have died anyway, but it's worth it playing for efficiency. Now, in the bottom lane, they actually managed to kill the Rubik, and with the Dream Coil committed to this NFR, then nobody's gonna come in and gank. Even the Snakes are committed. This Omnite is as good as dead, and Death Sama will now activate the borrow time a bit too soon because the aggro just can change to another creep. Unfortunately, he won't be able to heal too much. Doesn't have the Misquote to heal himself back up once the borrow time is up. But he's still able to take this tower with the help of the Life Stealer and the Shadow Shaman. I mean, those snakes deal so much damage to the tower. They even get a double damage. Oh no, sorry, it's actually the Prime that gets a double damage. That was a pretty good engagement though by Nasty Potatoes. Getting a couple more objectives, putting some pressure onto the Omnite especially to delay that Midas, which is going to be so annoying. And the Midas has not come out in the Omnite just yet, so he's opted for Arcane Boots and Magic Stick and even the Poor Man's Shield because he thought he was having a good lane, and he opted obviously for the lane domination, you know, early game domination, being able to take advantage of this good momentum you have. However, that ended up being bad for them because in the end you have an Omnite who delayed his Midas considerably and is not going to be able to farm as much anymore because now everyone is team fighting. That's the issue. Nasty Potatoes knew this, but the Prime did not. For TNT, the March of the Machine is coming in. They have a Dream Coil, so they can stop the TP. Ruzman is stuck in the Dream Coil. He's not going to be able to make it out alive anymore. So the Life Stealer just finishes him off with a couple attacks, that Rage, and the help from Ponlo. Ponlo almost died to the March of the Machines, but luckily he has the Phase Shift to survive against the Tinker's damage. In fact, Puck is pretty good against Tinker in general. That Dream Coil has a pretty huge range, is a nice AoE, and is able to stop any TP. In addition to the Waning Rift to make sure he can't just rearm the TP and try again. And the best part about it is that once the Tinker in the early game, once he TPs, he's always going to break the Dream Coil if he just tries to TP in the middle of the Dream Coil, which means that if you deal enough damage to him for the Dream Coil damage, the Dream Coil break damage to kill him, then you're pretty much set. In fact, how much is the Dream Coil break? It's not that much. I think it's 150 or so. Yeah, which is, it's something though. It's something. 150 attack damage is considerable in the early game. Oh, they go into Shadow Shaman. Crimson instead. Yeah, they don't even. There's no TPs to help him out. The Crimson just accepted his death once he saw the amplified damage coming onto him. It's more like a sign of, yeah, this guy needs a grave soon. Oh wow, this is really nice. This is a beautiful tower. Look at the moving parts. Oh, and the team fight's happening around the beautiful tower. Paulo, who is being targeted by a Tinker. In fact, in the bottom lane, or no, sorry, in the back lines, it seems like he managed to kill a Twin Protector and the Twin Protector here in the back lines. He was playing a bit too aggressively. The Martial Machines caught him in the middle of the sentry, so yeah, not a good play by them. The Tinker now comes in. Lose mine is ready, march the machines, you know, rearm, and the second march the machines as well. The puck comes in, the waning rift, and there's no Dream Coat to couple that with, or there is, but he didn't want to use it just yet. The Abaddon is going to TP in right in the middle of the march of the machines. He doesn't seem to care. He wants to just defend this tower a bit. The living armor is ensuring that this tower stays alive for a bit longer. There's a maxed out level living armor, which is good. Oh no, not yet. Needs to max it out to get the full cooldown. It's mostly the cooldown reduction and duration, being able to keep it up constantly, and being able to heal up towers constantly. In fact, at level 4 you can heal up to 2 towers, so Team Protector should be considering that over getting a second level in Nature's Guys, or more levels in Nature's Guys rather. And in this mid lane we see a bomb about to happen, but also a smoke gank. Oh, there's smoke, and I think they saw that. I don't know if they saw the smoke particles, and you can see the smoke particles. Not entirely certain of that. There's not many smokes used on my level, so don't know if you can see the smoke particles, but they seem wise about it. The puck is still coming in with a life stealer. And there you go. Dream Call to 2. Catches the Slaughter first. And they want to kill off the little fish. They're going to eat him up. Fish and chips for the nice stealer today. They stole Rage, but that Rage is not going to be too useful. And with the Guardian Angels giving him a lot of saving damage. Boo Boo also stealing that Roof Challenge ultimate. And with Overgrowth, they actually managed to stop eating for quite a while. But the beautiful snakes stopping the Undead right in his tracks as they block his path away. And the Juggernaut will bring down the Dream Protector before he himself dies. The guys from Nasty Potatoes getting a fantastic team fight, just basically because of the Shadow Shaman shackles, and the Guard Angel came out, and as soon as he did, he just pretty much snakes him in the middle of the team fight, which was fantastic, right? Blocking his escape route, he knew that Repel was available, so he could have repelled anyone else, had the chicken or the shackles or whatever. So he instead uses the snakes. It's the safest way to stop the Repel from being effective. Here, you can't really repel yourself either way, but you get the point. Right? It just really worked out for them. And extra magical or extra physical damage is not that useful in the team fight, but being able to stop the Omni-Knight, especially from using all the spells he likes because he has so much at cast range, is fantastic. And now in this bottom lane, oh, the Tinker, careful. And it's the March of the Machines. Wow. Yeah, that's level 3 already. 1.5 seconds. That's not bad. He's going straight up for the Aetherlens to go for the Aghanim Tinker. Yeah, seems reasonable. Also, Aetherlens gives you a bit of versatility. We've seen Dagon at Aetherlens Tinker, which is not bad either. Because the spell amplification of 5% with Dagon. Dagon level 90 gives you 45 extra damage. That's not too bad. Level 90, sorry, not level 90, level 9, level 5. Dagon level 5 deals 500 or 900 damage. Oh, great evasion of Slithering Crush, but the Dream Cold catches him out anyway. He's been stunned in silence. The Purification will give him a couple more seconds of life. He also manages to break the Dream Cold thanks to the Repel, and now they're going on Eden. The amplified damage is really hurting him, but the ultimate will not be enough to save him as the Overgrowth only catches down 2, and the Tinker just blinks in and kills him off. Now going on to Crimson, they catch both Crimson and the Lifestealer thanks to a magnificent Slithering Crush by the Slardar, knowing what objectives to go for. Lifestealer could not rage in time this time, even though the cast point is better. He just did not have the reaction time, and Ponlo comes in. He's just trying to, help out and deny this tower or something, but there's no defense you can do, Ponlo, when your Lifestealer is dead. What a play by the Slardar especially. I think we're dealing a lot of damage. Oh no, Puck, Dagon, Puck. No, I understand that with a 10% spell amplification and the natural spell amplification, it's not that bad. If you think about it, oh, it's not 900 damage, it's 80 damage, 800 damage. So 10% gives you 80 extra damage. I guess the 15% gives you roughly 100 or 120 extra damage, which is not that bad, honestly. It's like a whole new level of Dagon, pretty much, if you think about it. So I can see that. I can see that being a build. I still like the Yule Scepter more. I'm glad he's going for Yule Scepter. But I think he's just going for Dagon because the Slaughter is escaping him constantly with the Purification. So it's not entirely a terrible idea, especially with the Sprint that amplifies his damage. And amplifies his damage to the Slaughter, including the magical damage, so you can run it that way. Slaughter is actually really farmed, and the Omni-Knight is not so much. He's descended from going for Midas for going for much more utility. Omni-Knight, I'm just playing with the Medallion of Courage first and then go Midas afterwards, which is a bit of a waste on Omni-Knight, really. Even though you get your 60 gold per minute, you really want the Midas as soon as possible. However, getting the Medallion of Courage might be very useful for these team fights. Actually, that March of the Machines almost kills Crimson. Jesus Christ, poor Crimson. He can barely fight here. There's another of those heroes, but he's gonna catch him this time. He knows where he is. Oh, but the blink is not in time. Even blinks right next to him, so the infest damage can come out to him. But the Dream Coil is not used in time. They should have just Dream Coil first. As soon as they see him, just blink Dream Coil. now with that Polo, we'll be taking down a couple of down the bottom. Still with Lifestealer inside him. Lifestealer wasting a lot of time, but he has Midas, so it's a bit more okay. Honestly, Lifestealer with a Midas actually recovers quite decently, so it's fine because you're just waiting for that. Just waiting for that, sorry, to happen. For the Midas to go up, and then boom, boom, boom. Midas, kill, Midas, kill, Midas, kill, and you still recover all your farm. That's 220 gold per minute, or gold per a couple minutes. Oh, they go for the courier instead. Alright, that's not that bad, honestly. That's not that waste, that big of a waste of an infest. Killing the courier in the end, 175 gold for your whole team. And now you can Midas anyway. And he's just gonna go in, use the Midas on the creep. Oh no, don't use it on the catapult. TMT, did you really not learn how Midas works? Catapults give you more experience than the ranged creeps. Ranged creeps give you more experience, so you just lost gold there. Unless it was to stop the push, which I hate it. Someone's gonna argue that. It's not true. It's not true. He just did not know. I've seen a lot of pros do this. They don't actually study the little nuances of the game, like the stats and the numbers and whatnot, and they end up doing stupid things like Midas and catapults. It really ticks me off, man. You dedicate your life to this. I'm a caster. How do I know this? And you don't. And this is not one of those cases of the top-down view where it's like, I see better. Because you have the range tree right in front of you. Right, Babylon's going for Radiance, so he's actually taking advantage of the Omni Knights. I guess lack of knowledge. Or sorry, lack of farm, sorry. Not knowledge. Lack of farm, and he's going to crush him by going for the triple KA strat, right? You go to the late game, you have an Abaddon Midas, and Omni Midas. Omni is still pretty useful utility, but you won't have the damage Omni will give you with 120 damage bonus, etc., etc. So, going for the Radiance as the Abaddon actually puts you in the lead in terms of damage because you have more magical damage, more physical damage with your whole team. And also the mischance, which is fantastic against the Juggernaut. It's so annoying. The Juggernaut doesn't have magical immunity, doesn't like to go for BKB either. And the Repel is the only way you can actually stop the Radiance mischance from happening. And with that, the TMT just farmed some ancients. They actually made him some stacks for absolutely no reason. Sorry about that, the music. That was just an ad that happened to pop up. And yeah, seems like TMT will just be taking these creeps, giving him a bit more farm. Not equaling the farm of the Tinker, but definitely beating the Juggernaut, which is your concern anyway. I mean, you're the counter to the Tinker, but you don't really care because you're the counter to the Tinker no matter what. I really like the Solar Crest pickup at Eden as well. You don't really need any items as Stream Protector, so might as well go Solar Crest and just straight become a strong damage deal. It's also really good to push high ground if you need to. Juggernaut with a Blade Fury actually manages to take down a lot of creeps. Oh, Eden. Finding Boo Boo. Is he gonna find Boo Boo? Ah, it's so close. He's so close. He wants to kill him, but there's no help from the rest of his team, so they just don't want to commit just yet. They might have heard that actually. I don't know if you hear the sound effect of the invisibility. Nah, seems like you don't. I'm not cutting down any trees. For now, obviously, you have no clue that this Turn Protector is here, but he's offering a lot of useful vision, playing almost like a Rikimaru. Because he's not that as good as Rikimaru offering vision, but of course he does have the lane presence. He can definitely walk from here to here. Oh, they blocked the smoke. They blocked the smoke. They don't know who's here. They're just going to TP away because they're afraid the Turn Protector is coming with friends. Right, because the puck could just be coming in. And now they force a TP. They see Eden. Okay, this is quite obvious. The amplified damage comes to him. He tries to TP away and die. He will do so. They have no way of stopping him because he just used an overgrowth to stop the slithering craft from the Slardar. Knowing there are no more stuns. Sorry, he punishes that by TPing away. That's very clever play. And overgrowth is not like that long of a cooldown. Honestly, 90 seconds is, or 100 seconds is quite comparable. Not that great of a team fight spell either, so you can just use it to escape. Honestly, it's better than you dying as a team protector. That someone still has the borrowed time, by the way, so he can still fight. In fact, he is gonna. The shackles come out, and the repel to save him from the shackles. The borrowed time has already been used, and now the Guardian Angel, Death Sama, has to be quite careful. The Aphotic Shield to dispel that amplified damage. In comes the rest of his team, but the Lifestealer is coming from a really dangerous position. The Rage just in time, and now he eats up the Starter, going on to NFR. It could be the next target, but NFR has a lot more teammates that are going around for him, and the Abaddon has already died in the backlines against him, so... yeah, well, it actually was a Tinker who got the heat-seeking missiles. Oh, right, utilizing the amplified damage and the vision the Omnic gives you, so that's really good. And with this, it seems like the guys at Nasty Potatoes are playing. I mean, the fact that he went into Crimson is a waste of an infest, obviously, but he still has the Blink Dagger, so they have to be playing not defensively, but more in the pick-off stage, where Eden is going to give him a lot of vision, and if Eden dies, it doesn't really matter, and they're just going to try to get pick-offs constantly while they try to farm up for the late game. After all, the late game is not particularly worse than the enemy teams, but they do have an extra carry, so that gives them a bit of an edge. And it does seem like Nasty Potatoes are not really going to have the easiest of team fights right now. So you do want to go for more of the, I guess, standoffish strategy where you don't want to go full 5 versus 5. Despite the fact you have a Dream Coil, you're fighting against a March of the Machines, you're fighting against a Guardian Angel. Only fight when Guardian Angel is down, even if then, right? You don't need to do that, but take advantage of those times, if anything. With this, though, Trim Protector with the Nature's Skies onto him. He's going to give a vision of Boo Boo. Boo Boo's in a very dangerous position. He wants to see him ward. Yeah, that's an obvious ward. And Troubadour has sentries. Boo Boo is as good as dead. I mean, he's way too badly positioned there. Going to the enemy shrine. Very dangerous. Eden should know the ward here. Yeah, eats it right up. And that's a free ward and a free Rubik. Like, the ward is actually quite important because that was a pretty good ward. It was a pretty good ward had nobody been there, right? Had nobody seen that. Because then he could go for the very aggressive plays, knowing if they're in the shrine or not, and also knowing if the shrine is active is an important factor in the early-ish game. I mean, it's 28 minutes in. It doesn't even seem like it's been 28 minutes because the game has been going so fast and so furious and so entertaining to watch. But it has been 28 minutes, so it does seem like the shrine is not as important, but they can still use it as a TP structure, and you can see any sort of, you know, help and ganks coming up from the enemy team. Oh no, opponent's gonna be targeted, but they don't know he comes from the Life Stealer, and the special present might actually screw over the Slardar. In comes the Roof Trail with an Overgrowth as well. The Guardian Angel to give him some sort of regen, but the Puck has a Dream Coil still available. They cut down the tree, but Ponlo will still happily make it out alive thanks to the help from the Dream Protector. Sorry, I keep calling him Roof Trail, and it's just what we used to call him in Dota 1. I don't know his actual. I keep forgetting his actual name. But back in Dota 1, nobody knew he was called Dream Protector. Nobody called him TP. Everyone just called him, or Treant. Everyone just called him Roof Trail. And Panda goes down first. Now going on to the Omnet. He's not going to last that. What are you doing? Repel and TP in your face? Not against a Life Stealer with a Desolator. He just decimates you. And your agility gain is terrible. So 1.8 per level is not going to give you enough strength or enough armor to withstand that. Rubik is also found out because why not? They destroy his ward as an extra point, right? Because he knew he was de-warding there. In fact, how was he de-warding if he was? They must have destroyed the sentry first off. That was a weird de-ward. Anyway, they de-warded his ward. That was a very weird de-ward because you don't usually put the observer ward first. But doesn't matter. We didn't exactly know what happened. We do know that Rubik is dead, and now they can push a bit. That's another question not worked out too well for him. They even called him RT. RT, I do recall seeing Roof Trail and being called RT. I don't recall him being called anything but. And okay, the solar quest is finally completed. The Trim Protector has a solar quest going for Omnet. He did complete it. Right, so they have both solar quests, both shines. That's important. Rubik's trying to go for that Blink Dagger as well. No, oh no. You see, the issue here though is that the supports here are very greedy because Rubik does want a couple items, if possible, some mobility, Blink Dagger, Force Staff to have a bit more effect in this game. Especially when you're up against the Puck, being able to steal the Dream Coil and whatnot is honestly just luck. And being into Rab running is, oh, this Tinker just signed a Death Warrior. No? Okay. I thought he blinked that way, but instead Tinker goes whoop and tricks him out. Pretty smart. Now, the Ancient Black Dragon picked up by the Life Stealer, that plus the Radiance is actually a good amount of push without doing too much. So that's nice. And he should be able to get a lot of lasses anyway. I mean, that fire is really good for push, frankly. Yeah, it's the only reason. It's one of the few creatures you still grab. Maybe they get Life Golem sometimes. But you don't want to fight with the Life, or inside the Life Golem, which is why the Life Golem is not used as often. Or the Ancient Granite Golem is actually. I call him the Life Golem because of the aura. And with that, the Abaddon will continue to push. Oh, from behind, they go into Roosman. Did not expect the Black Dragon. Roosman got tricked by the Black Dragon because he didn't have the hero icon on the map. He wasn't really seeing him. And this offensive ward would work so well for them. A ward that just expired, by the way. So they used that ward to its maximum efficiency just at the last second. And with this, they can push high ground. And they're going to force a buyback on the Tinker at the very least. At the very least, this is a buyback on the Tinker. Oh, Boo Boo. You have to be very careful here. The Aphotic Shield got stolen. That's pretty nice. It goes R7, but that's a Slithering Crush pretty much wasted as they continue to go on this tower. This Rage plus the damage from the Curse of Avernus. Now the Snake's finally good drop down to this coil, and it catches the Omnissiah who's been silenced. The Omnissiah though goes from behind, and they want to kill Crimson. They haven't managed to kill him just yet though. They do root the poor Juggernaut, and now with the Shackles, he's gonna go down for sure. And TMT is now fighting against NFR. NFR is gonna die to the Waning Rift, but those heat-seeking missiles are so goddamn annoying. Roosmine has lost all his mana though, and that buyback might not be that useful as R7 is now suffering against the Wrath of the Lifestealer. He's gonna go down first. Boo Boo might be the second victim as those snakes just bring him down, and Roosmine TP's back to full TP's back to base to get the full health, but they want to go onto these towers. That's what they're concerned about. The rage from TMT to dispel the laser blind, and he's just gonna finish off this range rack. I mean, the snakes might just do that. It doesn't really matter too much if the snakes do it or not, because they're going to be pushed anyway. They managed to get the melee racks, managed to get the tower. They only lost 2 supports in that engagement. That was fantastic. The Puck surviving because of some great waning or ethereal jaunts and phase shifts, preventing a lot of the heat-seeking missile damage. You saw how powerful the Aghanim was in that high ground defense, but as time goes on, it's going to be less and less powerful, obviously, especially when they can catch that Tinker first. Catching that Tinker there, by the way, in the beginning with that offensive ward was just... It was just golden, honestly. It was just golden. It worked. It worked really well for them because with that, the guys, Nasty Potatoes, are able to take down the main defense force, I guess, in the enemy team, that being the Tinker, and they can force out even more ganks and more kills because they can now are playing in their home turf. Without the Tinker, it's not really your base anymore. Tinker's the only one that makes it. That's so. He's like the dog that pisses on the carpet and says, "This is mine." Okay, the Juggernaut's just gonna wasting the whole homicide on Eden. Eden might die though. Yep, the telekinesis kills him off. Great Slithering Crush, and now the ultimate stolen by Rubik. The overgrowth actually hurts quite a lot, but Boo Boo dies in 2 hits, and they're gonna go on to the starter as well. That's 3 dead for this team, and the Tinker finally joins in, but the Tinker could just be easy cannon fodder if Polo just finds him. The Yule Scepter's available. He could catch out Panda. The Yule Scepter just barely catching him out. The Waning Rift's not enough to kill him because the Waning Rift was on cooldown. It's not available yet. That's unfortunate because with that Ponlo, it might just die. Dagon though to kill off the Juggernaut. I cannot believe that just happened. He does a blink dagger, should be able to escape the Tinker's wrath. Tinker wants to blink him. Oh, he evades those rockets and wanted to Yule Scepter and be a cheeky Yule Scepter and just be like, aha, Tinker, I stopped your TP, but that was too much. And in fact, he played really well there, Ponlo. Good job. Killing off the Juggernaut and not dying himself. The Juggernaut's dead for 3 more seconds. He doesn't have a respawn time. Wow, he's only level 16. That's why he's so under level. Jesus. He's the same level as the Shadow Shaman. The nomination for Nasty Potatoes was much more clear than we thought. TNT now takes down the melee racks in the mid lane and is now going for the last set of melee racks, that being in the bottom lane. TNT has the Aegis anyway, so he can fight pretty aggressively. Wants to go into the Tinker, gets the open wounds out. Now the Dream Call, the Repel is going to save his life because there's no Agons in this puck, but they want to kill the Omad quickly. The Shock hits him, but he completely heals that with Purification. Crimson somehow still alive, starts to TP. This is letting Crush will kill him off, and the puck has to blink away, but I don't think he has blink available. The Purification will just kill him off before he can do so. TMT though does eat up the Slardar. More nice macro for him, and now Panda goes on to him. The root from the Twin Protector turns this around. The Guardian Angel though from the Omnight ensures he can withstand some of the pain from the Lifestealer, but the Radiance is still hitting him quite hard, and NFR is losing a surprising amount of health. The Infest from the Lifestealer will ensure he doesn't lose his Aegis in this engagement, but right now it does seem like they can still get one last kill with the Twin Protector. The Abaddon comes in, the Legion are very annoying, and comes the Lifestealer. Surprise! And Panda is being brought down by the Lifestealer. Boo Boo will be the next target. He has to use the borrowed time. Somehow managed to steal. That was fantastic, actually. NFR, now with the Purification, can only heal himself so much. As he goes down, the Tinker is also brought down by the top puck, and the GG is brought out by the guys at the Prime NND, saying, please no more. Nasty Potatoes, you win this game. They take the first game of this best of 2 after an amazing performance by both the Lifestealer and the puck, getting the necessary kills. They beat the Prime NND and will get the first match of the best of 2. Let's see if they can take the second one. We'll see so shortly, and like around 5 minutes the next game will start. My name's been DSwordfish. I have been your caster for today. Hope you've enjoyed the cast. If you did, feel free to follow me on Twitter at DSwordfish. If you didn't, feel free to tell me why in the chat. And we will be back with game number 2 between Nasty Potatoes and the Prime NND shortly. Enjoy some tunes while we wait. Until next time, guys.